Like such a scary team, taking out even RPG, who are old seasoned veterans. RPG though, they chose the first battleground here that we're gonna watch between the One and RPG, and it is once again Sky Temple. So basically we're just gonna stay in the desert and take a look at how RPG and the One approach the draft, because we're already seeing a pretty wild gameplay style here by SBT. The record, funnily enough, for RPG isn't that great. It's 0-1, but still they choose to play on this battleground.
Yeah, it sort of leans... I once again feel that this might be a chicken pick, due to the fact that he's leaning away from those melee assassins a little bit more, and that sort of leads him over to heroes like Dahaka, who are going to get a lot of value on this map in general.
Definitely true. However, the One, they haven't played on Sky Temple all season long, so this is going to be their premiere debut. Let's see what they can pull out of their heads. I want to see some Illidan. I know it's a little bit repetitive here, but I really want to see Hugo shine, because if you weren't watching last year, this guy is a mechanical beast. To be honest, when I read the rosters, I actually expected Hugo to maybe switch teams and go for the likes of CE or SBT. Definitely wouldn't have surprised me.
I don't know. I like Hugo, but I feel he's a little bit too one-trick in exactly that issue you are mentioning there. I'd like to see him grow over this season, and if he's able to grow, which we have started to see already, if he continues to do that, I wouldn't mind seeing him move to another team.
Gotcha. A hero that I would also like to see in China at some point is Samuro, because we all know how dangerous the hero can be on certain occasions. I'm not saying it has to be picked this game, because Sky Temple is not the go-to map for Samuro, but sometimes when you play on Tomb or you play on Braxis, a well-played Samuro can actually cause so much confusion, and we have seen him being successful, or Battlefield, for example. We've seen him being successful in other regions before.
And a big reason for that is the fact that Samuro now has the ability to swap his to any of his images on default. He can't control them without the Illusion Master, but can still get crazy value. RPG reacting immediately to not just the Greymane, but also the potential for that Illidan. They could still pick it themselves, though.
Yeah, and it's already cool to see how teams are adjusting when playing against the One and his infamous Hugo Illidan, because Arthas preemptively is a really safe countermeasure, and also keep in mind that Wang, who's very likely going to play the Arthas, is normally doing pretty well in that hero, but we could also see Chicken play Arthas if they want to go for a double tank frontline.
The Chicken Arthas is not unheard of. It can work very well, so we'll be curious to see who does play that, whether it is the Chicken or the Wang. And now we move into the ban phase. With Sonya already on the board, it is quite unlikely we will be seeing it's quite unlikely that we will be seeing an Illidan, at least from them.
Yeah, very true. Lucio already being locked in for Sa as well. And once again, Uther, such a high priority. I mean, he does have so many heroes he kind of works well with and that he enables. And Sonya or Greymane could be one of those, especially when you really want to dive deep in. And you want to make sure that Greymane doesn't get slowed by Arthas, Sonya doesn't get interrupted. Tons of value to be had here. And what's also cool about Uther in general, in my opinion, is that he has several builds that are viable. You can go for the standard W if you want to increase the armor duration, or you can go full Q Shockedin build on a map where you may actually interrupt people from taking objectives, like Cursed Hollow, for example.
Genji makes it all the way through the bans to this point. Also, that Abathur ban is absolutely beautiful. Look at that comp for the One. If an Abathur was added into that, that would be terrifying.
Very true. You mentioned it. Genji is available, and I'm trying to think of whether RPG has played a lot of Genji in the past.
Sure
I think Infinity. Yeah, Infinity. That sounds like a hero for him.
Well, we'll have to see if he goes for it. He likes his Chromies Infinity. He likes Li Ming on the odd occasion. But we have seen him on the Genji, and it was okay. It was okay.
Infinity definitely on one of the more powerful mechanical players in the league, and that's the cool thing about RPG as well. You have Loktar and Infinity who will constantly swap heroes back and forth. Okay, that is a Chicken Dahaka. 100%. Whoa!
And a Tassadar.
I never thought that day would come where I would be surprised to see a Tassadar, but it's simply so old-fashioned up to this point, with heroes like Vala falling out of favor, supports being nerfed in general. So we're not used to see a lot of Tassadar in the way. I just had a lag, by the way, so I'm just going to double check on my latency.
I'm still on 8.
Still an 8. I'm sitting at 9, so I think we're fine. I'm going to try to refresh once. Sorry, guys, we're sitting in here on the clean feet, so we're going to have to sync. Oh, it's only getting higher.
Oh, dear.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay, it's going down again. No, I'm sitting between 12 and 14 now, which is not ideal.
Let me swap quality. That usually does it for me.
Yeah, all right.
Tracer. I was about to say, Tracer is the only thing I can think of that really makes sense here. And RPG do seem to be quite fun.
Yeah, you're definitely far ahead. I'm also gonna...
I'm trying to swap quality to see if I can change it.
I'm also going to do that real quick.
Okay, I'm going to refresh to try and get up to you.
It stays relatively high for me here. So you know what, guys? We're just going to switch back to our pretty faces here while I'm trying to sort things out here. You still hear the sound effects in the back.
I appear to be glued on 8.
You're glued on 8.
I'm attempting to refresh out of 8. Slow down! Do I need to start downloading things on Battle.net?
Things are so different right now, Tetra, with you having bomb quality internet available.
13.
Oh, right. Okay, let me see what I have. I'm sitting on 12. You know what? We're going to leave it at that.
Close enough. That will do. We got it. So there we go. We are preparing for game number 1. So, a Tracer coming in. I stick by my thing. I think that's the only one that really makes sense. We've seen Solo Assassin Tracer a couple of times already in China and the other regions. Yeah. It can work.
It can work, especially if you have enough crowd control to keep the enemy team locked down and to keep them at bay, most importantly, so Tracer can relentlessly chase them down. I'm down to 9 seconds, by the way. I'm sorry.
You're a bad person to me sometimes.
I'm just toying with you, but I'm really at 9 seconds, by the way. So we're gonna wait until Tetra's all set up. Oh, there we go. You can do it though. In the meantime, we're diving in right into the action here on Sky Temple between RPG and TheOne, and I'm gonna introduce the first team on the left-hand side in the blue trunks to you guys. It is TheOne, featuring Hugo on that Sonya. Lucky plays the Falset. We have Meng on Grey Main, Zato is going on Uther, and Hihi on the main tank, as always, on the Murden. Let me know if I should introduce
the other one. I'm currently on 11.
Cool. Cuckoo, no problem. We've got a little bit of time to settle things out here. In the meantime, Tetra's favorite team in the Reds, we have Chicken on the Haka, Wang is playing on Arthas, Sa is on the Lucio, Infinities plays Tassadar, and Loktar on the solo ranged assassin Tracer.
10, that'll do. So, RPG immediately moving up to the Watchtower, giving themselves a little bit of map control, whereas TheOne positioning themselves to try and get themselves an early kill, not wanting to fight against a Dahaka with that terrifying drag ability so early.
Yeah, the tongue missing by an inch here for Dahaka that could have resulted in a kill potentially. And finally, we're back to seeing the more standard route for Tassadar. Yesterday, we saw the Kaydarn's Resonance, the questing talent, including Shield Strength here, being chosen. And now we're back to Psy Infusion at level 1, which requires Tassadar to hit a lot of enemy targets with his Storms in order to spread the radius first and then increase the damage after completion.
And gives the option for either double Storms, which can get some serious value later on, or even for the armor reduction Storms, which with the extra radius can gain very solid value. Even Dahaka has an armor reduction. Arthas does too, technically, but he didn't go for his W talent on level 1, so not 100% sure if we will see that or not.
Yeah, I like the Rhyme, by the way. I think Rhyme is a really solid talent, especially if you face a heavy basic attack-centric team, and with Falstad already going for Season Marksman, the Grey Main, the Sonya, I think it's definitely legitimate to go for that talent, especially if you want to make sure to keep yourself alive a little bit more, because the supports are definitely going to focus more on Tracer, or ideally, they can focus more on Tracer rather than on the tanks.
Chicken playing like one, as once again we see this bruiser camp timing. It's so common these days. So with that spell shield, you can get a crazy amount of pushing potential out of it.
Yeah, I think the anti-magic armor aura provided by the mage here is so huge. We actually saw the impact yesterday in the game between CE and their opponents, and also with SPT in the previous game. Like, this aura can really save your day, and it allows for crazy maneuvers. Look at that! Wang actually under so much pressure already. The spike bomb here by Tracer not landing perfectly, and this fort is already about to fall.
However, the the mage mercenary is beginning to drop low, but Uther is healing it. He just queued it to keep it healthy so they can keep going. It finally goes down. There's a single minion preventing the 4 shots, but they're able to get it, and almost Tracer. No, there we go. The triple teleport. Locktar gets himself out of range.
So here was what's kind of weird about this rotation by RPG. The main support, Lucio, was the one who stayed in the bottom, and I mean, he's doing a great job dueling against Lucky on the false step because he is the #1 player killer hero after all, right?
He is. Lucio winning the 1v1.
Oh, he almost got the boop over the wall.
I saw that. That was cool. But not able to do it. But yeah, Lucio holding the lane thanks to his self-sustain and some good poke potential, especially with the help of those mercenaries that he got.
Yeah, definitely true. So, in the end, you could argue the one still got more value out of it, but Lucy at least got a little something out of it. So, it remains to be seen how much that top 4 destruction can come into effect here. Hugo, in the meantime, does what Sonya does best. She solos a temple. In the meantime, it is time for RPG to maybe make something happen now. With the absence of Sonya, you can definitely go for more reckless maneuvers. We also see the increased life leech on Tassador's level 4 shields. Yeah. Very solid, and it's definitely the standard when you play with a hero like Tracer who attacks so fast.
Locktar, by the way, already used his ult. Please be careful. Nice burrow by Chicken. Yeah, exactly. Dodging out the way of that spear there, and as such, he will take control of that top temple as RPG also hold the line at the middle one. Shots being taken from both sides.
Yeah, Sonya is back though. Hugo took a sip from the healing fountain, is all juiced up right now, and managed to take back control over the top lane. In the meantime though, RPG, they didn't go home without at least a little bit of value themselves. Locktar now very cheekily aggressing on that false stat. Lucky so far has been doing a good job at staying alive though. He didn't really get taken out in the bottom lane too much. He also escaped the Tracer. And Lucky also performed pretty well yesterday already on that Karazim. Definitely a player to be on the lookout for.
Exactly. Very flexible style to see here. Very interesting to see. And Dahaka, he did get the final shots from that top lane. Sorry, something spoke in my house there for a second. It turns out it was my echo, and I was very upset and confused as to what just happened. But it's all good.
Wait, are there 2 Tetris in your house? Do you have a twin?
No, as in an Echo, a product by a company.
But got you.
We see Hee dropping down the storm bomb, but it scared me so much. As Hee moving forward, Cocktail lands onto Wang, but he drops the root. Uther's a good target for this. Bomb is landed. The boss is aggro. The slow from Arthas is super good. Sonya tried to interrupt, but the boss is cutting off the chase.
Yeah, the boss causing additional confusion here. Hugo now almost being taken out. There we go. He ends up falling after all. And RPG turning on the heat a little bit. Actually, the team that attacks the boss first will get the aggro. And only if no more players are nearby of said team will the boss switch to the other players. So it was a little bit of a risky move for RPG to fight on that choke point, but they did so in spectacular fashion.
The aggro was gained by Arthas's Arthas's E there, the frozen waste frost presence, etc., where he was able to unfortunately aggro the boss, which cut off the escape. But because of Dahaka in the backline and Sonya trying to make the cheeky move, Sonya got punished for that.
Definitely true, and once again we see TheOne activating their Knight Camp, trying to get even more value in the top lane. Locktar going in very deep, doesn't get punished though, because TheOne, oh, never mind. Hey, now with the Stormbolt, can they have a stun chain to kill Tracer? Predicting where she's going to come back after the recall, but the damage just wasn't really there. If only they had level 10 there, maybe with a Divine Storm they could have done it, but Divine Shield is locked in the first place anyways, so it's all good for now.
Yeah, Divine Shield, Wrath of the Berserker, go for the throat, the Mighty Gust, and the Avatar coming in for TheOne as RPG still trying to soak up to their level 10. TheOne taking a pretty solid lead at the moment.
Now, I'm not sure what Chicken is doing on that Dahaka. He's been sitting in there for quite some time. I actually thought he would go for the mercenary camp himself, but looks like he was just trying to scout the perimeter, waiting for the mercenaries of their opponents to arrive. A little bit of a waste of time.
I like it. He didn't show himself for so long, and as such, RPG were able to take control of the point, and TheOne realized that because they had their Falstad, if Dahaka was coming in, they'd be in trouble. Now they do know Dahaka's in the top lane, but they still know he has global, so now they're really, seeing as they would now be pushing into a position as opposed to holding it, they're very unwilling to do so, so they let the shots go.
In the meantime, now we see the battle of the globals in the top lane. Nice tongue by Chicken, but also good damage coming in by Lucky. And if you go for that auto attack style on Fall State, you're actually doing really well against those frontliners because you have much more sustained damage rather than bursting cooldown if you go for mage. But in the meantime, the Wang is going in.
Very nice route. Meg just immediately turns around just into Worgen form and blows up Tracer. Lucky coming in from behind. Gus, Wang and Chicken. Wang is trying to flee. He's out of zombies though. Good route. Is it going to be enough? Here he's chasing him down. Single stun will be the death of Wang unless he's able to somehow juke this. No. Down he goes, and that's going to be 4 kills going over to the one, and they're going to pick up a boss.
Yeah, and that was such a spectacular team fight simply due to the good focus by the one. They didn't even have to use the Divine Shield nor the Avatar, and as such, with 3 members of RPG being taken out, this is the easiest boss in the one's lives here. Now, what are they going to do as a follow-up here? There's not really a lot of objectives left to be taken, with the exception of that Siege Shine camp on the left-hand side. I like what He's doing on that Murden, though. He's trying to prevent Tracer and the other team members by RPG to deal damage on the boss for free. But now the remainders of the one are slowly but surely coming in here with mercenary reinforcements. Let's see what they can do.
They are beginning to move in. The Mercs, like you said, are going to do so much damage. Good dodge by Loktar here, but look at Loktar's damage. He's definitely trying his best to blow people up. Greymane chasing him in. Greymane has done such a good job at just ruining Trace in this game. Lucio being targeted as well. He doesn't even have his ult available as he's already used it early to try and save Tracer, but can't save a dead person.
The thing is, I think Sa and Lucio actually expected Loktar to use the recall. However, since he was on the way back in the first place, a recall would have actually teleported him into the enemy team. So maybe the sound barrier should have been used way earlier, because you need to expect the recall to sometimes actually work against Trace's favor. But as it is, that was a really solid engage and great Greymane play as well by the one.
Yeah, and once again, like we said, we're seeing the issue of solo damage dealer Tracer. She can't get through all this sustain here, the armor from Uther. But the fact is that Muradin's really tanky in general. Hugo's really tanky in general. And if you focus Greymane, guess what? He just goes into Worgen form and repeatedly, at this point, kills you.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point. Like, if you take a look at the heroes here by the one, everybody has some sort of self-heal, but in the meantime, Wang once again getting pressured, but the Gust immediately saves the day.
So we see the drag onto Uther. This could be a good target, but immediate Divine Shield, giving him the chance to escape. Here's the isolation, but immediately cleansed. Beautiful move by Zado.
And now it comes for Tracer to deliver the damage. Muradin pops the emergency avatar, stays alive for now. And despite all the efforts here by RPG, they once again fail to get the kills they really want to have. As such, the 2-level lead maintains in the hands of the one. And I'm not sure if RPG is happy and content with the way this game goes. However, once again, back to the point I was trying to make earlier. Every member, as you said, Tetra, for the one has some sort of self-protection. Muradin has access to the healing static right now. Uther, pretty hard to kill in the first place. Sonya, so much healing. And even Greymane and Falset have escape mechanisms if really needed.
Look at this, Tracer just burning down a tiny bit of damage onto here, but where is the finishing potential? Where is the actual damage here? I don't think I've actually seen here below half health.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's a very sad point of the game to be in, right? If you can't even bring the tank down below 50%. And it's only going to get worse at 16 as well, because he's likely going to pick the stone form. Wang once again going for an aggressive play. The isolation is good.
The isolation is very good, but Hugo gets cleansed out. Here's the Whirlwind doing the damage. Falstad surviving as well. Tracer's already gone.
Takes a bite, takes another bite.
Damage dealer go for the throat. Sa in full retreat. That is yet another 2 kills from the one, and Tracer is just not surviving these fights.
Yeah, and even the best of isolations is not going to work out if it doesn't land on Uther, because as you said, there is the Hand of Protection, the cleanse available. In the meantime, Sa is now dancing with Lucky, gets away into safety though, but it just doesn't look good for RPG. Once again, the damage isn't there, and despite the good engage by Wang on the Arthas and Chicken on that Dehaka, it just looked like the easiest thing in the world for the one to come back in time.
So we see Arthas even getting stunned up here, drops to half health. The Archons drops to try and give some kind of protection for this keep. and this might save the keep. Nice dimensional shift here to keep Tassadar alive. Mercenary camp is mostly dead. They just need to kill off the mage mercenary as Loktar. He wants to do so much in this game, but the burst potential's just too high.
Definitely true, and now that both temples are activated, the one can actually play this very cool, calm, and collected. All they need to do is maintain control over the top temple, and eventually this keep is going to fall because they literally just destroyed the tower line and the fountain as well. However, RPG, they realize exactly that, and they try to take control over this temple no matter the cost. In the meantime, though, the middle temple goes over to the one.
I think Hihi is learning a little bit what Ragnaros feels like when you fail a raid against him. It's just these insects coming in and just harassing you consistently. You just swat them down with your big old hammer.
There we go. Speaking of hey, unfortunately the Stormbolt doesn't connect, and once again Wang is the one with the initiation. There we go.
Fine, Avatar. Sound Barrier is really good though this time.
Gust!
Lucky gets the two-man Gust, splits the team. Loktar's the target, but he's microing pretty well here. Tassadar, not so lucky. Wang's dropping down. The damage output's just so high. Loktar, though, not getting stunned up this time, but with no TAS shields, he's not getting that much healing. We're very much relying on Lucio's speed to keep him alive at this point. And he will get out, but yet another 2 kills.
Yeah, look at the bottom lane. 2 cams of Siege Steins are pushing in there as well, keeping the enemies busy, keeping RPG busy, and the one, they smell the value that lies with the boss here that is currently free to take. 2 heroes dead, RPG busy occupying temples in the top and defending in the bottom, and this, ladies and gentlemen, could be the nail in the coffin. I think the middle keep is going to go down with those final shots, and the boss could be
both.
Yeah, they might.
Oh no, it goes to top. It goes to top.
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
It goes to top, but the boss is definitely going to seal the deal here.
Yep, that keep is a foregone conclusion at this point. It's really about the core. That was a third of Loktar's health via a cocktail there. Here comes Muradin, snipes Tracer with the hammer. But Loktar able to pull back, gets a TAS shield, going to be able to regen up a bit for that, as the keep will go down.
Stun chain is good with the redemption at level 16. Uther just dished out the double hammer, and without Tracer, I'm not really positive if RPG can hold this.
TAS is doing everything he can. Chicken holding the line, burrows to delay, gets gusted, and Meg finishes him off anyway, chasing him through the gust. And that is going to be GG, as the one will take game number 1 versus RPG.
And they did so in convincing fashion, Tetcher. I think the one just showed us how you deal with a wonky draft, how you punish on that, and how you deal with a Tracer. You pick tanky heroes that have self-healing and an abundance of CC. You lock her down, especially there at that very last moment. You could really see the Stormbolt, Hammer of Justice,